holder of angst in any city, in any country. Go to any schoolhouse you can get yourself into. And go to the principal and ask to see the holder of angst. If they hesitate for even a second, you're in the right place. If they refuse to acknowledge your question, ask them again. Eventually, they will grudgingly give in. They will take you to the basement of the school. As you are descending the steps, a feeling of uncertainty will wash over you. No matter how you try, the feeling will remain in the back of your mind, growing stronger with every step. The principal will lead you to the furthest corner of the basement. The closer you get to the corner, the more light is sapped out of your surroundings. With the light goes all feeling of hope. They will frantically start brushing the cobwebs and dust off the walls that connect at the corner. Once they complete this, both walls will have a brick with an indent just big enough to fit your hand into. The principal will leave without a word, and it will be clear to you that you are on your own from this point onward. You will have to decide between two walls. Be careful, though, as one contains horrors beyond the human imagination, while the other leads you forward. Either way leads to regret. If you manage to pick the door that leads onwards, you will see a dark, musty corridor. It will be darker than anything you may have thought possible, but walk in as straight a line as possible. If you collide with something warm and vaguely human, stop moving. Do not move, or else you shall regret your very existence. If you remain still, the warm-blooded mass should vanish, as if in a mist. Once this happens, speed up your pace. You will eventually think that you see light, but it is simply a trick. Do not go towards the light, for if you do, your very essence shall be in peril. At the end of this tunnel, you will feel what seems to be a door. It will be reminiscent of a medieval dungeon with a small barred window and a wooden plank keeping the door from opening. Once you have made it this far, there is no turning back. You cannot do anything other than unbar the door and walk inside. Once you pull the door shut behind you, there will be a deep voice in your ear. Speak in a language you will not understand. It will sound as if it is everywhere and nowhere, and its incomprehensible words shall chill you to the very bone. Do not move, do not speak. Wait until the voice is done, until you so much as breathe. If you do not follow these instructions, your last sound shall be tormented screaming. When the voice finishes, wait a moment. Turn slowly and face the holder of angst. He will be wearing torn strips of cloth, and his body will be scarred. He will look at you with eyes so full of grief and sorrow, you may almost cry yourself. Do not. He will start speaking about his life, but his voice will be but a whisper. He will describe torments too horrific to understand, terrors that will make your ears bleed, but listen. Listen and do not close your eyes or cover your ears, for you won't need them if you do. During his story, he will cling to your shirt and ask you to help him escape his personal hell. Stay silent, as this is but a ruse. Once he is finished, he will curl into a fetal position and sob quietly. You have only a small amount of time until his crying drives you mad. Ask him, what will happen if they are brought together? The holder will be standing, even though he was just in a ball on the floor. His face will contort with an odd mix of rage and fear. He will run around, throwing unseen objects around this small, empty room. You will hear porcelain, glass, even wood break and shatter around you, even though there is nothing there. He will be ranting loudly in a language that was not meant for human ears. Again, wait. Stay still and silent until his fury is released. The moment he is done, he will sit down. He will begin to explain the reasons why they should never have been created, the atrocities they have caused, and the unimaginable power they contain. He will stop on occasion to sob, or throw another imaginary, yet real, object, but he will not be done. No, his madness has been driven far too deep to be done in a matter of minutes. He will speak for what seems like hours, and then days. Those days will turn into months, and into decades, and into millennia. You must not falter, no matter how long it seems you have been standing there. Once what seems like an eternity has passed, he will stand slowly and walk to you. He will lightly touch the sides of your head with his palms, and knowledge will flow through your very being. The holder will look at you with a look of blissful relief, as his madness has finally left him. The moment you blink, he will be gone. The knowledge he has given you is object 501 of 538, and it must never be reunited with the others, for reasons which you will now fully understand. The understanding will eventually drive you to insanity. Holder of apathy. In any city, in any country, go to the nearest church that you can find. An old or abandoned one is best, but any church will do. If you absolutely must go to a church that is in current use, be sure to go on a day that there is no services. Random strangers can mess this up for you. When you get to the church of your choice, walk towards the door and stop exactly 8 feet from it. With your arms crossed and a scowl on your face, as loud as you can, or as soft as you can manage, repeat the words, "I don't want to feel anymore." The door should open for you. If not, then you should bolt for your car, or run back the way you came. Don't stop until your legs tire out or you're home. If you do stop, you won't die. Your fate will be no longer enjoyable. You will never see color again. You will never hear music the same way. The world will become quiet and literally gray in your eyes. You will be a shell of a person, with tears welling but no actual release of emotion. You will feel, but you will not be able to show it. But if the doors do open for you, and you are welcome, the inside of the church should look burnt out, despite how old or how unscathed the building looks on the outside. Walk in and sit down on the closest pew that you can find. Wait for about 7 minutes, and a bright, almost blinding light will shine through the first broken stained glass window. Then a random door will open. It could be the front door or a bathroom door, but a door will open, and a very tall, very gray-skinned preacher in tattered robes will walk in and sit down next to you. You are not to look into his eyes. Keep your sight to the floor or on your feet. If this preacher sees that you have no intention on looking at him after waiting for 3 minutes, he will get up, walk towards the front, and grab an old Bible that sits on the floor next to him. Finally, he will begin to speak. Not words from the book, but what he says is directed at you. Every time you dream, you die. The world fades from the tiny abortion that is your soul, and you lay there in a broken heap on the floor, sobbing and wailing for the mother that you so viciously clawed away from. The blood of your birth will be the blood of your undoing. The world will be ripped from you, in the same way that you ripped from the uterus. Pain will be the only thing that you can register as you live from now on. The ripping of flesh, your flesh, the only sound you'll hear. Their faces consume your sight as you fall asleep one last time. Can you accept this fate? You mustn't show any reaction. Only look up at him. Your face has to stay the same, or what he described will be the most pleasurable dream that you could reach for in this twisted world that you live in. Wait 30 or more seconds before saying, in a confident voice, "Yes, I can accept this fate. Make it come faster." He will nod, then exit out the door. He will nod, then exit out the same door that he entered. Then, pain. A burning sensation will rip through your stomach, consuming your chest, and then spread to the rest of your body. You must endure this without changing your expression or moving in the slightest. Blood will seep out of the new claw marks that are slowly forming on your skin, and you'll feel something sharp being forced out of your stomach from the inside. Keep that scowl. Don't smile, don't cry, don't do anything. Just sit there and take it. After a while, the pain will recede and be replaced with an overwhelming amount of pleasure, as the object that had just split out of your stomach slides into your lap, all on its own. After a few minutes, shut your eyes and scream, "I want this to go away!" The pleasure and the pain will be completely gone. Once you're able to move your arms, grab the object and clean it off with your shirt. Look at it for a second, and the seemingly shapeless black blob in your head will shift and change into a small key. A silver key with a chipped edge. The edge means that this key will no longer unlock anything. Whatever it is meant for can never be opened or locked off again. With this object, you can control and alter the emotions of others, make anyone fall for you, or despise you with a single look. Your emotions can also be changed. You will feel freed from natural emotion reactions. You will be freed from natural emotional reactions, free to do whatever you want to, without pain, without guilt. Keep this key with you, and don't let anyone else find out about what it is. The key is object 362 of 538. It yearns to be with its brethren again. Once the rest are freed, they will meet.